Steven Gerrard admits Rafa Benitez's tough approach worked and he'll do the same at Rangers. Steven Gerrard's attitude to calling out players is straightforward. If he and his own dented ego could survive what Rafa Benitez subjected him to on a daily basis at Liverpool in the pursuit of perfection, then no Rangers player should be complaining about the demands he's placing on them right now. In measured tones in the Ibrox media room, Gerrard gave his most searching and critical dissection of the shortcomings of his Rangers squad last Saturday evening. That calmness was doubtless no reflection of the mood, as condemnation came firing out of the manager's mouth in the dressing room in the minutes immediately after the 0-0 draw against St Johnstone. Honesty, of the brutal variety and aired in public, often prompts an outbreak of concern for a manager's relationship with his dressing room and could turn out to be the quickest way to find a slippery slope leading to the sack. Gerrard can now acknowledge that, when under the wing of Spanish tactician Benitez, the individual castigation was well-intentioned and public team chastisement more often than not cutely timed. He admits feeling singled out at the time, but the pressure, ultimately, worked a treat. So he fully expects to coax positive reactions from the modern-day Rangers player by taking a leaf or two out of Benitez's approach, and won't be sparing veterans like former England teammate Jermaine Defoe and his fellow loan signing Stephen Davis. When asked which manager's honesty he admired, Gerrard explained, "Rafa Benitez was like that with me on a daily basis. I probably played the best football of my career under Rafa. I was always searching for that praise and that, well done from him all the time, and that brought the best out of me. He was the one who broke my game down in every little small detail, and he'd tell me things on a daily basis. I'd be a bit confused at times, and thinking, I'm not sure that's right, but it drove me on to produce my best football. Now, that doesn't work with every player. There are certain guys in the dressing room I need to manage differently. For example, I could have a go at Stephen Davis or Jermaine Defoe, and they've been around the game long enough to know it's not personal, that I'm trying to help get the best out of them, and that's the way it is. Others would be different. I forgive Rafa now, we are mates again. I preferred it when a manager was honest with me. Sometimes, if that wasn't what I wanted to hear, then it was for me to be man enough and accept it. To look at myself, self-reflect and react. We are still in touch. And I can see it from his side now. You think, at the time, when you hear things you don't want to hear, that he's picking on you. But he was only after the best Steven Gerrard he could get. Premiership, 20 games, 4 goals, 1 assist. League Cup, 5 games, 1 assist. Europa League, including qualifiers, 5 games, 1 goal. FA Cup, 2 games, 1 goal total, 32 games, 6 goals. 2 assists that helped him and Liverpool be more successful. With maturity and experience, you understand it better. I haven't gone in and destroyed anyone in a 1v1 or made them feel too bad. The most important thing is you get the reaction. If I'm honest with them and it affects them for a couple of hours after, that's the way it's going to be. I criticize them to try to help them and make us more consistent, to try to avoid these setbacks we've had on too many occasions. I knew they would come, but I didn't expect this many. They've been quite damaging in one cup and in the league. The Bedford Cup slip, against Aberdeen in the semi-final, will be brought up again in the week ahead as Rangers prepare to travel for a third time this season to Pittodrie for a William Hill Scottish Cup quarter-final next Sunday. Rangers booked their last 8 places, and Alfredo Morelos-inspired performance in midweek against Kilmarnock proved the perfect tonic to Gerrard's piercing censure of the team minus their Colombian striker 4 days earlier. Morelos was absent, through suspension, as Rangers exited the League Cup to the Dons, and Gerrard's backup strikers failed to find the net at Rugby Park a fortnight ago, then did likewise in the home draw against St Johnstone. Kyle Lafferty, the league's 4th top scorer while at Hearts last season, was meant to be a reliable domestic goals replacement and an occasional big-game starter given his record for netting against Celtic and performances for Northern Ireland. Instead, the 31-year-old has been a crushing disappointment, scoring only against Cowdenbeath in a run of 19 games stretching back to September. However, Gerrard feels there is no need to panic over that dismal record as Rangers prepare to travel to Hamilton this afternoon. Forwards always need goals, stressed Gerrard. I think Kyle has been unlucky on numerous occasions. He scored a perfect goal at Dundee that was ruled offside. Against Hamilton, he had 4 or 5 good chances and was unlucky not to score. I am sure when he gets one a few will start flowing. He will say he wants more minutes and I understand that and admire him for that. He needs to keep trying but sometimes he tries too hard. I have done it myself when I haven't scored for several games. You start shooting from distances that maybe you shouldn't. You make silly runs because you are desperate to get on the score sheet. Kyle just has to be Kyle, which is being a handful up front and letting us build off him. I am sure the goal will come. Alfredo is a big player. He's important and he gives everyone a lift the way he plays. He does cause problems for opposition teams but it is an opportunity for someone to step up. I think the key against Kilmarnock the other night was the support we got around Alfredo. We got quality into the box and had midfielders who controlled the game. Everyone was on top of their game and that helps Alfredo. He will get the headlines, rightly so. But the quality of service was brilliant. If we can get that type of service into Jermaine or Kyle then I'm sure we will score goals. A players-only meeting did the trick in the wake of Gerrard's hammering to keep Scottish Cup hopes alive. Fresh from applauding their 5-star midweek show, the Rangers manager would find those same players taking one of their infuriating steps back in Lanarkshire unpalatable. Gerrard said, "The players knew. The morning after St Johnstone, before I even came across them, they'd already had a chat amongst themselves. They know when they've let themselves and the supporters down. They were very keen to put that right against Kilmarnock, and did. At Rangers, you can't afford to do that or you lose ground or go out of cup competitions. My opinion's the same in terms of the league, but we need to keep going and see whether we get another opportunity to bite back. That starts at Hamilton."